What if the very concept of the sky, the heavens themselves, was not just a vast, distant expanse, but a living, breathing blueprint for how society should be governed and how the entire universe operates?
Mm,
It's a profound shift in perspective, isn't it?
it really is.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into the ancient heart of Chinese mythology and belief to unpack two colossal yet often misunderstood figures, Tian, the venerable Sky Emperor, and the magnificent Jade Emperor.
Two giants, really.
Absolutely. You've shared some truly incredible sources with us, from the bedrock of ancient historical texts to insightful explorations of Taoist philosophy and the vibrant tapestry of folk beliefs. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Our mission today is to navigate the rich, intricate tapestry of China's cosmic rulers. We'll meticulously trace how these figures emerged from the mists of antiquity, delve into the profound depths of what they represented, and truly understand why they were, and in many ways still are, so profoundly important to Chinese culture, governance, and even daily life. Prepare yourself for some serious aha moments about cosmic order and its surprising connection to earthly power.
What's truly fascinating here, and what our sources powerfully underscore, is how these concepts aren't merely decorative myths or, quaint old
Right,
stories.
not just stories.
No, they are, in fact, fundamental, deeply ingrained building blocks of an entire civilization. If we connect this to the bigger picture, you'll see how understanding Tian and the Jade Emperor is absolutely key to unlocking the very soul of China's historical and spiritual landscape.
Wow.
Their influence isn't just significant, it permeates nearly every facet of traditional Chinese thought and society. It's really pervasive.
So to truly appreciate the significance of Tian and the Jade Emperor, we need to lay a robust groundwork by first understanding the unique, incredibly rich blend that defines Chinese mythology and its belief systems.
Good starting point.
When we talk about Chinese mythology, it's crucial to understand we are not simply discussing a collection of disconnected campfire stories or ancient fables. What we're looking at here is one of humanity's oldest, most continuous, and deeply integrated mythological systems,
Absolutely.
with roots stretching all the way back to the 3rd millennium BCE. Think about that for a moment. That's over 5,000 years of continuous intellectual, cultural, and spiritual evolution.
It's staggering, really.
It's a truly monumental achievement in human thought.
Indeed. And to add to that, these aren't just isolated narratives. They represent millennia of concerted, dedicated effort by countless individuals, by successive governments, and by profound philosophers. Their aim was, well, to collectively understand the world around them,
Right.
to grasp the fundamental essence of nature, to define humanity's place within the vast cosmic scheme, and to decipher the intricate workings of the entire universe.
A massive undertaking.
It's a grand, evolving tapestry built upon several core foundational elements: the veneration of nature gods, the pervasive and deeply personal ancestor cults, a multitude of spirits both benevolent and malevolent, powerful sky deities, an overarching and constant concept of cosmic order, and universal laws that were believed to govern absolutely everything.
Everything.
Pretty much, from the smallest blade of grass to the grandest celestial movements.
That paints a picture of immense scope. So then what does this all mean for someone like our listener who might be trying to grasp this vastness quickly and effectively?
Yeah, good question.
How do we even begin to categorize such a sprawling ancient system without getting lost in its sheer depth and complexity?
That's a crucial point, and it highlights one of the most distinctive aspects of Chinese belief. Unlike many Western traditions where religion and mythology are often seen as sharply separated categories, think of how distinct Greek mythology is from Christian theology, for instance.
Right, very separate boxes usually.
Yeah, exactly. In China, those lines are remarkably fluid. It's a beautifully interwoven landscape where folk beliefs, official state religions, and profound philosophical teachings like the influential Confucianism and Taoism are not just coexisting side by side.
They're mixed together.
They are, in fact, intricately interwoven, constantly influencing and informing each other in profound, dynamic ways. This means that a concept might originate in one sphere, like philosophy, and then be adopted and personified in folk belief, or vice versa. With the state often playing a role in standardizing or promoting certain interpretations, it's a constant interplay.
So what you're saying is that when we talk about figures like Tian, the Sky Emperor, and later the Jade Emperor, they aren't static, isolated entities that fit neatly into one box.
Not at all.
They are fluid symbols embodying aspects of popular mythology, official state religion, and Taoist philosophy simultaneously. They adapt, they shift, and they transform depending on the context, the specific era, and even the social stratum.
Precisely. And this raises an incredibly important question for our understanding. How does this fundamental interconnectedness, this seamless blending of myth, philosophy, and religion, impact how we understand their roles?
Especially compared to other traditions.
Exactly, especially when we compare them to, say, the distinct and often warring gods of Greek mythology, or the singular, often exclusive deity in monotheistic religions.
Right.
It means their influence isn't confined to a specific religious dogma or a collection of stories. Instead, it permeates every single layer of society, from the highest echelons of the imperial court down to the most humble village and family.
Wow, every layer.
They aren't just figures to be worshipped. They are foundational concepts that define the very fabric of existence, of governance, and of human moral conduct.
And speaking of foundational concepts, let's truly unpack Tian. Now, Tian, written with the character Ka, literally translates to sky or heaven in Chinese. Pretty simple, right?
On the surface, yes.
But what our sources show, and what centuries of ancient texts consistently reveal, is that it goes far, far beyond just the physical firmament above our heads.
Much deeper.
From its earliest appearances, Tien carried a much deeper, more profound meaning, embodying cosmic order, divine justice, and an overarching universal law that governed all existence.
That's absolutely right. The evolution of this concept is utterly fascinating. As early as the late 3rd millennium BCE, stretching through the foundational Xia and Shang dynasties, Tian transitioned from being just the physical sky to this recognized overarching source of both cosmic power and the ultimate political authority.
So cosmic power and political power, linked.
Directly linked. This means that a ruler's power wasn't simply inherited through lineage or seized through brute force. It was directly legitimized by what became known as the Mandate of Heaven, or Tianming.
The Mandate of Heaven. We hear that phrase a lot.
And for good reason. It was a concept so powerful that it could both affirm and revoke the right to rule.
Here's where it gets really interesting and uniquely Chinese, I think. Tian wasn't initially conceived as a personal god in the anthropomorphic way we might think of Zeus.
Right, no beard and thunderbolts necessarily.
Exactly. Or Odin, or even a singular personalized deity in Abrahamic religions. Instead, it was far more abstract, seen as the embodiment of the universe's natural workings and its underlying moral order.
Think of it less as a king on a throne you could petition, and more as a vast, impersonal, yet profoundly influential force that governed the cosmos. It was less about a specific deity to pray to for a good harvest, perhaps, and more about the fundamental, unwavering principles that held everything together in a state of harmonious balance, the underlying order.
An operating system for the universe, almost.
That's a good way to put it. This abstract, almost systematized nature of Tian is crucial for understanding its pervasive political implications. The Mandate of Heaven, Tianming, became the absolute cornerstone of state authority in China, a principle that endured for over 2 millennia.
2 millennia. That's incredible staying power.
It really is. The core principle was strikingly clear and profoundly powerful. If a ruler governed justly, if they acted with benevolence towards their people, and if their conduct was in perfect alignment with the cosmic order.
If they did good, basically.
Yes, if they upheld their end of the cosmic bargain, then Tian would bestow its support upon them, ensuring prosperity, stability, and legitimacy for their reign. It was a divine endorsement, but one that came with immense conditions.
But, and this is the vital revolutionary kicker of the mandate, isn't it? If a ruler became tyrannical,
Yes.
if they were demonstrably incompetent, or if they simply failed to uphold moral principles and ensure the well-being of their people, then Tian would withdraw its mandate.
Precisely. It wasn't guaranteed for life or even for a dynasty.
And this withdrawal wasn't merely a symbolic gesture, right? It was believed to manifest in tangible, often catastrophic ways.
Absolutely. Leading to devastating natural disasters like widespread floods or crippling famines, escalating social unrest, and ultimately a fully justified rebellion.
Justified rebellion, that's huge.
It is. The people, in essence, had a cosmic right, even a moral duty, to overthrow a ruler who had demonstrably lost the mandate. It was a divine check and balance on imperial power, a revolutionary concept for its time.
Wow. And there are historical examples of this.
Exactly. A prime historical example that cemented this principle was the rise of the Zhou dynasty. They explicitly justified their overthrow of the preceding Shang dynasty by claiming that Tian had irrevocably shifted its mandate to them.
So they used it as justification for taking over.
They did. They argued that the Shang rulers had become corrupt, decadent, and had lost heaven's favor due to their unjust rule, thus legitimizing the Zhu's divine right to rule and establishing a new dynastic cycle.
Clever politics, but based on this deep belief.
Precisely. This isn't just a clever political theory, it's a profound moral and ethical principle that held rulers accountable to a higher cosmic standard. Tian, in this sense, wasn't just a physical sky, but the very guardian of justice, morality, and the cosmic order itself. It implies a constant and overarching accountability for those in power, shaping governance from its very foundation.
Okay, so Tian starts abstract, this cosmic principle, this mandate.
Yeah,
But it doesn't stay purely abstract, does it? You mentioned personification earlier.
that's right. Though initially abstract, Tian gradually began to take on the form of a celestial emperor figure within Chinese mythology as it developed.
Ah, so it starts to look more like a ruler.
Yes, this personification made Tian seem more personal, more capable of managing and making decisions, but it still remained largely removed from direct human interactions.
Still distant, then.
Very much so. Tian remained primarily the guardian and judge of the universal order, the ultimate cosmic principle, rather than a deity common people would typically appeal to directly for everyday needs, like, say, help finding a lost item or curing a minor illness. That wasn't really its domain.
So you can see Tian's fascinating journey from an abstract universal law, this impersonal cosmic force, to something that gradually began to take on a more majestic, almost king-like celestial presence. What truly stands out to you about this profound transformation, this shift?
What stands out most powerfully is how this personification, while keeping Tian fundamentally about order and justice, made the concept, well, maybe a bit more graspable.
More relatable.
Perhaps. It made the abstract concept of cosmic governance feel a bit more like something someone was in charge of, even if that someone was still vast and distant. While Tian initially remained primarily abstract, by the Warring States period, and certainly during the Han Dynasty, you see it depicted more explicitly as the celestial emperor.
Okay.
This personification meant Tian seemed more personal, perhaps, more capable of managing, judging, and making decisions within the cosmic order. However, it's crucial to note, as I said, Tian still remained largely removed from direct daily human interaction. It was the ultimate arbiter, the guardian of universal order and morality.
The big boss, way upstairs.
Exactly. Not typically a deity to whom common people directly appealed for daily needs like a lost ox or a bountiful harvest. It maintained that cosmic distance, embodying the grand impersonal forces of the universe, but now with a kind of imperial overlay.
And now, building on that evolving concept of a celestial presence, let's transition to another colossal figure who emerged with truly majestic force, the Jade Emperor.
Ah, yes, Yu Huang.
This is where we meet the supreme celestial sovereign in a more concrete personified form, isn't it? Known in Chinese as Yu Huang or Yu Di Huang. He is widely recognized as the highest authority, the undisputed ruler in the heavens within Chinese mythology.
The top god, essentially, in many popular and Taoist views.
And his figure began to appear distinctly in early Taoist texts, right?
Oh.
And gained immense widespread prominence with the vigorous spread of Taoism.
Yes, particularly from the late 1st millennium BCE into the 1st millennium CE. He really came into his own, you could say, becoming the ultimate divine administrator in that framework.
And the symbolism is incredible, Jade.
Oh, absolutely. And his symbolism is just captivating, speaking volumes about his status. He's frequently depicted with an exquisite jade crown and resplendent jade robes.
Not just any robes, jade robes.
Exactly. And this isn't just an aesthetic choice or a random detail. Jade in Chinese culture is incredibly significant. It's more than just a precious stone.
What does it signify?
It profoundly signifies sacredness, purity, immense spiritual power, and often immortality. So the visual of a ruler adorned in jade immediately conveys his supreme status, his inherent righteousness, and his direct connection to the divine.
Pure authority.
He is, quite literally, the purest embodiment of celestial authority.
Imagine the visual. A ruler of the cosmos adorned in jade, symbolizing ultimate purity and divine authority, sitting on a celestial throne. It's breathtaking, a truly powerful image.
It really is.
And this isn't just a figurehead. The Jade Emperor has very specific, comprehensive duties and immense powers that govern the entire cosmic bureaucracy we touched on.
Absolutely. He is the undisputed ruler of the heavenly court, the celestial monarch, Every single god, spirit, and immortal in the vast Chinese pantheon is subservient to him.
Everyone reports to him.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They serve under his direct command, reporting to him. He governs the elaborate celestial palace, which is depicted as a massive, bustling cosmic bureaucracy, complete with various departments and officials, mirroring the earthly imperial court.
The heavenly government.
Precisely. He meticulously oversees the entire cosmic order, ensuring balance and harmony throughout the universe. His interventions in the human world, while often indirect, are typically reserved for maintaining cosmic justice, meticulously regulating natural phenomena like the crucial weather patterns, rain, drought, storms.
Things vital for survival.
Exactly. And ensuring proper, benevolent human governance. He is the supreme figure in the Taoist pantheon, with other deities serving as his subordinates or specialized officials, much like an emperor's ministers.
So this isn't just a vague concept of heaven. It truly creates a very structured, organized bureaucracy in the heavens, a precise mirroring of the earthly imperial court.
It does.
It implies a highly organized, systematic approach to cosmic governance, which is quite unique and fascinating. It almost sounds like there's a celestial civil service examination for divine officials.
Huh. Well, maybe not exams, but certainly roles and responsibilities. It's a remarkably insightful parallel, one that deeply reflects Chinese societal values about order and hierarchy.
Right.
And it's this highly structured heavenly bureaucracy, combined with his role as the ultimate arbiter of cosmic events, that explains why he commands such immense respect and reverence among the common Chinese populace.
Especially farmers and merchants.
Particularly farmers and merchants, yes, whose livelihoods are often directly impacted by the stability of natural phenomena that he governs. Rain, harvests, safe travel. His domain touches their lives directly. His very existence offers a sense of order in a chaotic world.
You can see his immense reach and profound influence. He's widely worshipped during crucial cultural events like Chinese New Year celebrations,
A very important time for him.
where families pay homage, and other special festivals throughout the year. Rituals and prayers are devoutly offered to him for peace, for prosperity in business and agriculture, for good health, and for divine justice to prevail.
All the big things, really.
And the enduring fact that countless temples dedicated to the Jade Emperor are found across China today, from bustling cities to quiet villages, is a powerful testament to his unwavering and enduring popularity.
Still active, still relevant.
Not just as an ancient deity, but as a living, breathing, and relevant part of the culture even in the modern era.
This profound popular reverence brings us directly to Taoism's foundational and profound connection to the Jade Emperor. Taoism, established around the 4th century BCE, and traditionally attributed to the venerable philosopher Lao Tzu.
Lousy, right? Tao Te Ching.
Exactly. It centers on a fundamental concept, the Tao, or the Way. This isn't merely a spiritual path for individuals. It's understood as the fundamental overarching principle governing the entire universe, the source of all existence,
The ultimate reality.
and simultaneously the ultimate moral and spiritual path for humanity to follow in order to achieve harmony and enlightenment.
So, if I'm understanding this, Taoism is about finding your flow, living in sync with the universe's natural rhythm. It advocates for living in harmony with nature, practicing non-action or acting without forceful intervention, wu-wei, as it's called,
Wu Wei, yes, effortless action or non-striving.
and aligning oneself with the universal order.
Hmm.
But here's the puzzle. How does an abstract, philosophical concept like the Tao, which emphasizes natural flow and non-intervention, evolve to have a king, a supreme celestial ruler, like the Jade Emperor?
That's a great question.
It seems like a significant leap from philosophical principle to a concrete administrative sovereign.
How does it work? That's where the evolution and popularization of Taoist religious practice, distinct from its purely philosophical origins, becomes incredibly important. As Taoism developed and spread, especially from the Han Dynasty onwards, it incorporated and developed a highly complex hierarchy of gods, spirits, and immortals.
So it became more organized, more religious in a sense.
Precisely. It developed a pantheon. And within this elaborate cosmic bureaucratic system, the Jade Emperor sits definitively and unassailably at the very top.
Number one.
Number one. Taoist texts, especially later ones like the Jade Emperor Sutra, meticulously describe his elaborate heavenly palace, which isn't just a mythical dwelling. It's depicted as a bustling, vibrant celestial bureaucracy, teeming with other gods, immortals, and assisting spirits, all meticulously organized and serving under him.
Wow.
Taoist priests as central figures in this religious practice and conduct sacred ceremonies and rituals in his name, solidifying his central, indispensable role in their religious practice and cosmological understanding. He becomes the tangible embodiment of the Tao's ordered manifestation.
That connection is truly crucial. The Jade Emperor, then, gives a tangible, relatable face to the often abstract, sometimes elusive principles of the Tao.
Exactly.
He's the ultimate administrator of the universe, ensuring the Tao's universal laws are upheld and its order is maintained. This raises an important question for you and perhaps for our listener. Does a personified, accessible deity like the Jade Emperor make such a grand, abstract philosophy as Taoism more accessible and understandable to a wider populace?
I think absolutely.
I think the answer from a historical and cultural perspective is a resounding yes, because it offers a concrete figure to pray to understand, and to connect with, rather than just an amorphous concept.
I agree completely, and the historical evidence certainly supports that. The Jade Emperor embodies and concretizes the cosmic order of the Tao itself. His supreme status is directly linked to the Tao's universal laws. He is the highest, most perfect embodiment of their expression and their enforcement.
He makes the Tao visible, in a way.
In a way, yes. In Taoist philosophy, particularly as it permeated popular belief, he serves as a constant, powerful reminder of humanity's rightful place and our inherent duties within the vast, interconnected universe. He symbolizes moral conduct, the maintenance of universal order, and the cyclical nature of existence.
So he's more than just a ruler.
Oh, much more. He's not merely a god. He's the ultimate living representation of the way in action, overseeing its magnificent cosmic dance.
And these profound beliefs, in turn, fueled some truly incredible cosmic tales and rich mythological narratives that brought the heavenly bureaucracy to life.
Oh, definitely. The stories are fantastic.
While some creation myths feature other primordial beings, certain Taoist and folk legends credit the Jade Emperor with a truly significant central role in the creation, and more importantly, the ordering of the universe.
Ordering is key, yes.
He isn't always depicted as the sole spontaneous creator, but he's frequently seen as the grand architect who establishes order from primordial chaos, following the initial emergence of form and energy from the Tao.
He brings structure.
He's the one who brings structure, who meticulously established the hierarchy among gods and spirits, essentially setting up the cosmos, heaven and earth as we know them, overseeing the proper functioning of all realms.
Putting everything in its right place.
And his celestial palace, often referred to as the Cloud Palace or the Palace of Universal Purity. Sounds nice.
It does. It's vividly described as a sacred domain, a place of unimaginable splendor, immense power, and ultimate authority, where divine laws are decreed and critical cosmic decisions are made.
The cosmic headquarters.
Exactly. It's not just a mythical residence. It's portrayed as the nerve center of the entire universe. And as you hinted, it's bustling with activity. Other notable figures reside or serve there, forming a celestial court that mirrors the earthly one.
Who else is hanging out there?
Well, these include popular deities like the youthful and powerful Neza.
Ah, Neza, the rebellious one sometimes.
That's him, the compassionate Guanyin.
Guanyin, often seen as Buddhist, but also here.
Yes, who, while revered across Buddhism and Taoism, is often depicted as part of this celestial court in folk tales. And the whimsical, often mischievous, 8 immortals.
The 8 immortals. Always fun.
Absolutely, all playing their roles within this vast, meticulously organized celestial administration.
It truly sounds like a bustling, incredibly detailed celestial government. I can almost imagine the cosmic paperwork involved, divine decrees, petitions from mortal realms, celestial census reports.
Cosmic TPS reports, maybe?
Right. All those divine regulations and edicts being processed.
Quite so, a truly intricate and endless flow of cosmic administration. Despite his supreme authority and the grand scale of his duties, direct, everyday intervention in human affairs by the Jade Emperor is generally depicted as relatively rare.
He doesn't meddle too much.
Not usually in the day-to-day. He's not micromanaging every single human life or individual prayer. However, during periods of severe crises, when there are major systemic injustices that threaten to unravel the fabric of society.
Big stuff.
Yes, big stuff. Or when there are profound disruptions to cosmic balance. such as prolonged droughts or devastating floods, he is said to directly dispense heavenly punishments or undertake significant, often dramatic interventions.
So he steps in when things get really bad.
Exactly. Folk tales frequently recount instances where prayers offered to him, especially those carefully facilitated through Taoist priests or through great public supplications, are indeed answered.
So prayers can work.
They can, demonstrating his distant yet immensely powerful influence as the ultimate court of appeal, the final arbiter of justice for both gods and mortals.
So we've explored these two colossal figures in depth, Tian and the Jade Emperor. It truly is a fascinating tale of two cosmic rulers, distinct in their origins and primary functions, yet deeply interconnected in the Chinese worldview.
Very interconnected.
Let's make sure we clearly distinguish them for our listener, offering that deeper insight into their unique roles, because they sound similar sometimes, but they're really not the same.
Absolutely. Good to clarify. To recap, Tian, the Sky Emperor, is primarily an abstract, overarching, and principled symbol of cosmic order in ancient China.
Abstract principle, got it.
Its significance was heavily tied to political legitimacy, specifically the mandate of heaven. Tian is more about the universal law, the inherent ethical principles that govern the cosmos, and an impersonal yet supremely powerful cosmic force.
The underlying rules.
You could think of it as the underlying operating system of the universe, as you said earlier, a set of universal laws rather than a personalized ruler. It represents the inherent righteousness of the cosmos.
Right. And the Jade Emperor, on the other hand, is a much more personified, deified, supreme celestial authority who emerged more clearly and gained immense popularity within the framework of Taoism and widespread folk mythology.
Personified ruler.
He is the concrete, active, ruling sovereign of the cosmic and religious order, quite literally the king of the gods, the chief administrator of the heavenly bureaucracy.
He's the manager.
He sits on the throne, issues decrees, and manages the celestial hierarchy. He is the face of divine authority.
While distinct in their initial conceptualizations and historical emphasis, these two figures are profoundly and deeply interconnected. Tian represents the overarching cosmic law, the fundamental principles governing existence, the way that things should be.
The ideal.
The ideal, yes. The Jade Emperor, meanwhile, personifies the highest authority within that law, particularly within the Taoist religious framework. He is the living embodiment and active enforcer of Tian's cosmic order.
So Jade Emperor works for Tian, in a sense, or enforces Tian's law.
That's a good way to think about it. He embodies the executive function of Tian's principles. They represent different historical periods, focal points, and different aspects of belief systems, with the Jade Emperor often seen as the more approachable, more active manager of the cosmic bureaucracy.
The one you can actually talk to, maybe.
Perhaps. The one whose actions are ultimately derived from and aligned with the abstract principles of Tian.
This distinction raises a truly important question for you and for our listener to ponder. Was the emergence and popularity of the Jade Emperor a way to make the vast, impersonal, and somewhat remote concept of Tian more relatable?
Interesting angle.
More accessible, and more directly worshipable for the common person, thereby giving a more tangible, recognizable face to the divine order.
I think that's a very strong possibility. It's a fascinating and deeply insightful evolution of belief, taking something grand and abstract
Like Tian.
and transforming it into something that people could connect with on a more personal, ritualistic level through worship and prayer.
It humanizes the divine in a profound way, or at least personifies it.
I believe that is precisely what happened. It's a natural human tendency across cultures to seek a relatable figure for the divine, something tangible to interact with. And these cosmic figures, in turn, have had incredibly profound and enduring cultural and societal reflections throughout Chinese history.
Shaping pretty much everything.
Shaping everything from imperial policy to daily superstitions. #7, cultural and societal reflections.
Absolutely. The link between the heavens and the earthly realm in China was truly indissoluble, a seamless fabric. The Chinese emperor's rule was not just accepted, but fundamentally legitimized by the Taining, the mandate of heaven,
Back to the mandate.
making the concept of Tian absolutely central to state governance for millennia. It dictated everything from an emperor's moral conduct to decisions on foreign policy and internal administration, because the emperor was not just a ruler, he was seen as the son of heaven, Tianzi,
Tianzi, yes.
the intermediary between the cosmic and the human realms, responsible for maintaining cosmic harmony on Earth. If the crops failed or rebellions rose, it was a sign the mandate was at risk.
A heavy
A
responsibility.
huge responsibility. And this wasn't just a political theory or a philosophical concept. It was continuously reinforced and made tangible by pervasive religious practice.
Exactly. Taoist priests, through elaborate and meticulously performed ceremonies and rituals in the Jade Emperor's name, fortified the religious bonds between the state and its populace.
So religion supported the state and the state supported the religion.
In many ways, yes. These rituals weren't just about personal piety or individual salvation. They were acts believed to ensure the prosperity of the entire empire, the well-being of its people, and the continuity of the dynastic line,
Keeping everything running smoothly.
directly linking the divine will and celestial order to imperial success and earthly harmony. The emperor himself would offer major sacrifices to heaven, embodying his role as Tianzi.
So think about that. For thousands of years, the heavens literally dictated who was in power and, more importantly, how they should rule. How deeply, profoundly do you think that shapes a national psyche, a cultural worldview?
Oh, profoundly.
This isn't just dry history. It's a deep, living cultural imprint that emphasizes order, responsibility, and the interconnectedness of all things.
It shapes it profoundly. It embeds a deep respect for cosmic order, for hierarchical structure, and for the moral accountability of leadership. It's a worldview where humanity, and especially its rulers, are inextricably linked to a grand universal design.
Where everything is connected.
Exactly, where actions in the human realm have cosmic repercussions. And these figures aren't just confined to dusty ancient texts. Both the Jade Emperor and Tian as a general concept of heaven, as in the phrase, heaven knows.
Oh yeah, people still say that.
Absolutely. They feature prominently in Chinese folktales, traditional theatrical performances like Beijing opera, classical literature, and major festivals to this very day.
During the immensely important Chinese New Year, for instance, it's a widely held belief that the Jade Emperor ascends to heaven to inspect the world and report on human deeds.
Annual review time.
Huh, exactly.
Yeah.
Prompting people to offer special prayers and burning incense for good fortune, blessings, and a prosperous year ahead. This ritual, deeply ingrained in millions of households, is a living, breathing tradition that powerfully connects the ancient past to the present day,
Still very much alive.
demonstrating the enduring power of these foundational cosmic beliefs.
Exactly. Their significance persists even today, not just in broad cultural narratives, but particularly in active Taoist temples, religious ceremonies, and even everyday superstitions across mainland China, Taiwan, and in Chinese communities globally.
It's not just history.
No, this isn't merely ancient history or academic study. It's a vibrant, living tradition that continues to shape modern cultural expressions and spiritual practices, demonstrating the enduring, deep-seated power of these foundational beliefs in China's cosmic order. Hashtag tag tag outro.
So what does this all mean, and what can we distill from this deep dive? We've journeyed through millennia of Chinese thought, revealing how Tian, the ancient abstract principle of cosmic order and profound political legitimacy,
The foundation.
laid the absolute groundwork for how the universe and subsequently how society itself was understood, and then how the magnificent Jade Emperor emerged from Taoist and vibrant folk traditions to become the highly personified, supreme celestial ruler,
The CEO.
diligently managing the vast, complex cosmic bureaucracy, giving a tangible face to the divine order.
These figures are so much more than just mythological characters in a story. They are living, breathing embodiments of deep-seated cultural values, intricate ethical systems, and the very political structures that have defined and sustained China for thousands of years.
They're fundamental.
Absolutely. They offer us a profound lens through which to understand how an entire civilization grapples with humanity's biggest, most enduring questions: the nature of order, the meaning of justice, the source of authority, and humanity's fundamental place within the vast, awe-inspiring cosmos.
The big
The
question.
biggest. They provide a framework for understanding not just the divine, but the very nature of governance and human responsibility itself.
As we wrap up this truly expansive deep dive, consider this provocative thought. In a world increasingly grappling with rapid technological advancement, artificial intelligence, and scientific discovery,
A very different world.
what enduring wisdom, what profound insights can we still draw from ancient belief systems that so intricately connected the heavens to human governance, to moral order, and to our place in the universe?
Good question to leave with.
What does it tell us about our universal human need for structure, for justice, and for deeply ingrained sense of the way things should fundamentally be even today? We hope this deep dive has given you a real shortcut to being well-informed, offering surprising facts and enough to spark your own further exploration into these profound concepts.